Once you've wrapped the hoop with the twine or leather, whatever you've chosen to wrap it with, you're going to start your web. So I'm using a waxed linen thread. Traditionally, the webs were made with sinew, which is muscle tendon. It's stripped, dried out muscle, and that's what they used, but they've kind of moved away from that, and they use a sticky or waxy thread because it helps you to create the web, and it holds it in place, and it also kind of signifies, you know, a spider web is sticky and things get caught in it, those bad dreams get caught. So you start with your wax thread, and I like to tie it in just a traditional knot on the inside of the hoop. I double knot mine. You can trim off the excess, but I would wait until you've done the whole hoop before you trim the excess, because sometimes the tension you put on it is going to make it slip out. So give it a little bit of a tail and leave it there. So with your first dream catcher, you may not have 8 points, but traditionally there were 8 connection points on the web, signifying the 8 legs of the spider. So you start on with taking your knot on the inside, and then I like to use for a 6-inch hoop about 1.5 inches worth of space, and I kind of usually use my finger or my thumb as a guide for how long to make my space and to keep it even. So I'm using my thumb as a guide. So once I find the spot where I want to start making my web, I'm going to go outside of my web and around, and then I'm going to pull my thread through. I won't be able to use this whole rule for very long. So you can see that I'm pulling it tightly to the outside. That helps to create the tension. You don't want it to be saggy. You want it to be tight. This is strong thread. It's not going to break. You want to pull it nice and tight. So I'm using my thumb as a guide, you can see, and it creates a nice and even spread on your web. I'm going over and then up and through that space that I made. You can see it kind of makes like a smiley face, and then you pull it tight. Okay, and then I pull it, back to the outside to tighten it up. Then I'm just going to keep on going over, and then you can see the little space that I created, and pull it up through. You don't have to use this whole rule. You could just take off about 3 feet's worth of waxed cord if you're using a 6-inch hoop. If you're using a 7 or 8-inch hoop, I would say to use about 4 feet of the waxed thread. So I'm going over, around, up, through, pull. Moving my thumb so it's nice and even. Over, around, through, pull it nice and tight, and then pull it out, and that helps to make it tighter. And I'm just going right past my clip because my hoop's still drying a little bit. Pulling it up through. And that one's a little bit bigger. I need to slide it back. So pay attention to your spacing. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to try to space it out pretty evenly. So you can see I'm back to my starting point. I'm coming through. At this point, I'm not going to be able to continue to work with this entire roll. So what I have to do is I have to measure off about 2 more feet of the waxed thread. If you run out, you can always add on, but I'd say err on the side of more. And what you'll want to do is take your couple fingers, wrap it around so that you're not working with a huge piece that you're taking in and out. You want to be able to just easily lasso it through. At this point, you're going to cross and make a triangle. You can see I made a triangle. I'm going to take this kind of like a little lasso here, and I'm going to go through the space that I made, pull it up, and now if you continue to go this way, it's going to lose its place. So to lock it in place, once you've come up and through, you're going to go back through it, and it's going to anchor it in place and it won't go anywhere. It creates like a little catch, and pull it as tight as you can. Then you're going to go up through the next one. It's just a pattern. Up through, and then you can see I made that triangle. You're going to come back up through your triangle to lock it in place. And you want to aim for about halfway. You can kind of use your thumb on your non-writing hand to lock it into place. Now I'm doing the same thing again.